So this is known as the bag of the gods. This symbolism is widely known, but no one knows what it truly symbolizes. We see this in ancient Sumerian artwork. We see this in the Mayans' artwork. We always see this bag with the gods. What does this actually represent? Okay, so the bag itself represents carrying. Carrying what? It represents information, it represents knowledge. Your mind is the carrier of the information. So, this is why in his left hand, he carries the bag, and the right hand has the pine cone. This represents carrying of information. Why is it a bag? A bag can be passed on to someone else. The information can be taught to someone else. This is the information of activation of the pineal gland or higher consciousness of humans. Because as humans, we all possess an animal nature, the nature that tells us to eat, to steal, to gain material wealth, to survive, to hate. This is our animal self. This is our animal behavior. But we also have a divine nature of consciousness, which we have access to, the higher planes of consciousness, the planes that manipulate this material world and create all things in this material world, the human mind has access to. The animal does not. The animal has no idea he exists. The animal has no inner dialogue, but humans have the inner dialogue. Humans can create infinitely. We can expand our minds infinitely into new realms of thought. So we have this higher divine nature and a lower nature. This bag of the gods is basically just representing the knowledge they possess of higher consciousness, of the higher aspect of life. Okay, which is the activation of the pineal. The pine cone. The pine cone is in his right hand. The right represents wisdom. The left represents intellect, knowledge. Knowledge and wisdom are two separate things. Wisdom is applied knowledge, it's a feminine aspect. Knowledge is just gained information that you know, which is masculine. So in his right hand, he holds the pine cone. The pine cone can be opened and shut. The shut pine cone represents the asleep human being, the human being that exists in his lower nature, that just basically survives, lives on eating, consumption, material lust, living in chaos with his emotions, living in a place of hell. This is the animal nature. Then we have the awakened human, the one who has consciousness of himself, the one who looks within himself, the one who knows there is more to him when he looks in the mirror. He is far more than just the physical body. He is a divine spiritual being, a divine being who has limitless potential of creation into the material plane. So this represents the awakened. This represents the asleep. This is why he carries the pine cone in his right hand. It represents applied knowledge. This is the information. This is the intellect he possesses. And this is the applied knowledge of the awakening, of activation of the pineal gland. Because remember, the pineal gland is not your consciousness. The pineals, the same root word. Pine cones were always symbolizing the state of consciousness one was living in, whether he was asleep or awake. We see this at the Vatican. We see the pine cone over the two pillars. This is the two pillars of Freemasonry, and the dome. This is the Royal Arch of Freemasonry. This represents your head. This is the two pillars, the two hemispheres, and the pine cone in the middle, which is the pineal gland. What is the pineal gland? The pineal gland is not your consciousness. It is not the third eye, and it is not the mind. It's not the mind's eye. The pineal gland is a radio receiver. This is your body. Your body is an antenna. Most people think they are this body. This body is nothing but a receiver and a downloader of consciousness. Your brain does not produce consciousness. You are not this brain in your head. This brain is a downloader of consciousness. Consciousness comes from a way higher divine plane, which is what this image is showing here with the clouds. The mind is light. Consciousness is light. And this light is coming down into the material plane, and your body is basically a crystal antenna which is receiving and downloading this consciousness. So you can experience a three-dimensional reality. So God can experience himself in a divided, separate state. This is what this represents. Now, the pineal gland can be activated, okay, and stimulated, because the pineal gland has physioluminescent crystalline jagged shaped cells on it. And obviously these are crystals. Crystals are on your pineal gland. And what do crystals do? Radios use crystals. Your phone uses crystals. They tell you that crystals are woo-woo and pseudoscience because they don't want you to know the power of crystals. Your body is basically a giant crystal. Your pineal gland is a radio receiver for your consciousness. So if they can ruin your pineal gland and damage it, this will damage your connection to the divine, to your true self, to consciousness, to God, whatever you want to call it, the source. There is all one source consciousness, and we're all collectively connected to it. And this is our connection. This is our antenna. So what a radio does, a radio has an antenna, and the frequencies are all around us because all the radios are playing in your ear right now. But what the antenna of a radio does is tune into a specific frequency to pick up that frequency and play that frequency. It's the same with your consciousness. You're all a fraction of God's consciousness. So that is essentially what we are looking at here. We're seeing knowledge, intellect in the left hand, and applied knowledge, activation of waking up to higher consciousness, to the higher human form. Because we can reach beyond our physical form. We can turn our animal self into a divine being, into one of these so-called gods. These gods are nothing but human beings. The Anunnaki were not gods. They didn't come from the sky. These are normal, regular human beings who activated their higher consciousness. This is what we have here. This represents spirit. Birds represent spirit. So do we have any questions? I'll take some questions now. That was just a short lecture on what that symbol truly means. Okay, so if we have any questions, feel free to go ahead and ask some questions. Anything that you don't understand, anything that you want to know. Okay. So base reality would be where source resides. Yes, the base reality is your consciousness. Are these lectures available in the university? There's a whole section, basically inside the university, there's a whole section with like over 30 long form lectures like this. So the base reality is where the source resides. Yes, the base reality is your inner world, your consciousness. That is the only thing that exists. Your outer world is just an effect of your consciousness. Your consciousness, everything that has gone on within the mind and emotion is pushed outwards into your reality. You have thought and felt your way into your external circumstances. Your life is a direct correlation of every thought you thought in the past. Therefore, your inner world of consciousness is creating and molding your outer world. The best way to keep connection consistent, the best way to keep your connection to the divine or the higher planes of consciousness is through meditation and through imagination. Imagination is the fourth dimension. It is the astral plane. That screen that you have in your mind is not a physical screen. That is the divine plane of the astral. And this is essentially where all objects of this material world comes from. The phone that you are holding, the laptop you're watching this on, whatever you're doing, every single object you see in your room that you are in right now began inside of the plane of imagination. This is not a physical plane. This is a metaphysical plane that you have access to. And you have the ability to bring down this plane into physical form. That's what we call manifestation. That's what the ancients called magic. This is what we now call in science metaphysics. It's all the same thing. So yes, you all have access to the divine planes. Unlike animals, this is why humans are so advanced. Okay. Is the pineal able to constantly activated, or is it just a temporary experience? I don't fully understand that question, unfortunately. Maybe you could word it in a different way. The real meditations on the university legit, y'all, yes. In order to connect to consciousness, you need to sit in meditation and turn off your feelings, and the feeling of unity will come. Do I understand correctly? Yes, that is correct. So when you sit in silence and in stillness, I highlight the word stillness because stillness, when you are still, no information from your nervous system is being decoded by the brain. So when your body is still and does not move, your nervous system starts to relax and comes to a balanced state. Your brain starts to relax, it comes to a balanced state. The left and the right brain stop working, the nervous system stops working. Then, once the body, the material body is shut down, you then have access to consciousness. You can't access consciousness if the body's in such a busy state. If electricity is being fired every 2 seconds, your whole body's electrical. When you move your foot, that's electricity being fired from the brain to the foot instantly through the nervous system. The brain, your whole body is a technological machine. So you must shut down the technological machine to access the divine that exists beyond the technological machine. Do you understand that? Did we create ourselves from the higher plane? When you say yes, you created yourself, you manifested yourself in this material form for a reason in this specific time and place. Wisdom books, are these available inside the university? Yes, they are. So anyone who joins the university, they all gain 50% off the store. So you can get anything off, anything you want inside the store for 50% off. Plus, you get the Book of Wisdom Volume 1 PDF for free. You get the Human Health Guide. Plus, you get all of the library books. There's a loads of different books on occultism, symbolism, esotericism. Do you need to place your attention somewhere specific during meditation? You can do. Okay, you can do. So if you struggle, when you first start to meditate and you struggle to turn off the thoughts, think of the back of the brain, the back of your head. Don't think of it, place your attention on it. Okay, so when you place your attention on the back of the brain, this now shuts off thought because the back of the brain doesn't have any activation to do with thought. The front brain does, the neocortex. That's all to do with activation of thinking. So place your attention on either the back of the brain or your breath. What's more important, creating yourself or finding yourself? It's balance of both. So in order for you to create fully, you must have awareness of self and awareness of thought and control over the mental dialogue, the inner voice inside of you. Okay. When you control that inner voice, that is when you gain power. That inner voice is what brings commands into physical reality. Before you kick a football, there is a change in consciousness. There's a decision made in consciousness before the body takes the action. Therefore, every physical manifestation is a change of inner consciousness before it's a physical reality. You can have the reality you want through consciousness before physically having it. That's the secret to creating. But you must believe it like you know the sun is going to rise in the morning. That's how much you should know that you have that reality in consciousness through feeling and thought and imagination. And that's how you can truly create in your reality. Shrooms help with consciousness or ego. I can't really talk about that because I'm maybe uploading this to YouTube, unfortunately. But we need to clean our pineal gland first from calcification. Yes, definitely. You should go on a detox the body, because you can't really connect with consciousness if your body is in such a dirty state. Because the brain is, your nervous system is in a state of fight or flight, trying to fight off all these toxins. So when you meditate, you're probably going to be having thoughts all the time because your brain's firing, your nervous system's being attacked through toxins. So you must detox to have a true connection with the divine. Your diet plays a big role in your spirituality and mentality. What is the most optimal food for pure consciousness? Fruits and vegetables. They possess consciousness. So when you place them inside of you, they're syncing with your consciousness. How to check the cleanliness of your body, your skin, your teeth, your tongue, your mouth. If your skin has spots, different colors on it, you're not clean, because your skin is a reflection of your inner organs. Coffee's not the best for you. Coffee gives you fake energy. Okay. So what coffee does, that buzz you get off coffee, is actually the toxic effect of the chemicals reacting with your body. If I'm inside the university and wanted to buy your book, you said it would be 50% off because we are your student. Is that automatic, or we need to have a code? You will have a code. Yes, I'm going to releasing a code for all the students after this. Caffeine equals neurotoxin. Yes, it fries your brain. It fries your nervous system. It fries your dopamine receptors. Will the Q&A last week about money symbolism be posted? Oh, I didn't post that. That's my bad. I totally forgot. I will post that after this. Thank you for reminding me. How to detox the body. The best way to detox the body is going through a week cleanse of fruit. So only consume fruit, sea moss, and cayenne pepper, and lots of freshly pressed juice. Do that for a week or 2 weeks, depending on how you feel, and then start to fast. You will lose weight, but you're not losing weight. You're losing impurities. It's good to do this every couple of months, to just go on a raw fruit diet, cleanse the body, push everything out, and then start to fast while consuming sea moss and having lots of freshly squeezed juices. What is an alternative for coffee? Something with high energy levels. Okay, we're not taught the most simplest thing about the human body. It is an electromagnetic machine. It's electrical. It runs off electricity. The only energy you need is electricity, and that is found in fruits, vegetables. If you want energy, drink pure, fresh, pressed juice. That will give you more energy, more electricity than coffee. Can we cleanse ourselves through oil pulling? Do you recommend it? I do oil pulling every day with coconut oil in my mouth. Celery juice is a good one, very good one. Yeah, celery juice. Any more questions? What kind of music do you listen to when lifting? For me, rap, hip hop push me work harder, but I know it's terrible for my subconscious. Yes, very. At least you're aware of it. You should be definitely try and stay away from the hip hop music. Try and stay away from anything that's talking about anything negative, because it's all programming your subconscious. And your belief system is your reality, people. Your belief system is your reality. Okay? So look after your subconscious. That's what's controlling your actions. 90% of your actions on a daily basis are controlled through your subconscious beliefs. Okay? I listen to a lot of Pastel Ghost. I listen to a lot of let me get my playlist up. It's all like background music for TikTok. Do you know what I mean? Like Pastel Ghost. That's mainly what I listen to. That sort of music. I don't know what it's kind of called. I don't know what that genre is called. Does anyone know what that genre is actually called? Because there's not much words in it. The reason I listen to it is because there's not much words in it, and it helps the subconscious. And I just love that music. Like lofi, yeah, a bit of lofi. Uh, most people won't even know this type of music. Can you tell us how you use cayenne pepper? So I mix it with freshly squeezed orange juice every morning. So the first thing I have, empty stomach, I have a teaspoon of cayenne pepper, mix it in and just down it every morning and sometimes at night. The feeling you get in your stomach after putting cayenne pepper on an empty stomach is absolutely amazing. It tingles in your stomach. It kills parasites. It kills all horrible organisms. Mix it with hot water. Yes, hot water and key lime water. That I bet that's powerful. If you mixed warm water with key lime with cayenne pepper in first thing in the morning, I can imagine how powerful that is. I've never done that, but I'm going to try that. Do you use sea salt? I don't know what to think about sea salt, to be honest. I try and stay away from it. I don't know whether it's good, don't know whether it's bad. I'm kind of mixed on it, mixed information. Uh, I've heard people have benefits. I've heard other people say stay away from it. So I don't know. I just stay away from it. Just I'm not too sure on it. I drink fresh pressed celery juice every morning. Yeah, definitely. Uh, is there any chance we could like feel for move to like esoteric occult questions? The only reason I say that is because I might be posting this to YouTube, so it's like I don't want them. I don't want them thinking I'm giving health advice because I'm not. This is what I do. I'm not giving anyone medical advice. This is what I would do to myself because I can probably get in trouble for that. So the subconscious is the all knowing, it is the all seeing eye. The subconscious knows everything. Your conscious mind does not. Your subconscious knows every single cell in your body. Your subconscious is making your heart beat. It's talking to your heart. It's talking to every organ, every cell in your body is being connected and spoken to by your subconscious mind. It is the all knowing. The subconscious has access to the astral plane, imagination, the fourth dimension. It has access to the mental plane, thoughts. It has access to the ethereal plane, energy, and has access to your physical body. It's the door, it's the portal. The subconscious is the portal to the divine. You must go through the subconscious in order to access the divine. Any coupon codes for book two? Yes, inside the university, there will be a 50% off coupon code. Speaking of ancient civilizations, why did they use symbols to give us true knowledge? This is a very, very good question. Very good question indeed. The reason they use symbols is because symbols are their keys. They hide meanings. They hide things. For example, if it was written down, if all of this sacred knowledge that I'm speaking now was written down, it can be easily taken. It can be easily misused. Someone can take it, read it, and steal it and misuse it and abuse the world and create horrible things. The reason they use symbols is because they're hidden. They hide the teachings. Only the ones who possess the key, that possess the knowledge, can read the symbol. So the symbols act as a guard towards this higher wisdom, this higher knowledge, which gives you power. All of the knowledge I teach you gives you power. And you can misuse it. You can misuse your imagination. You have no clue, unless you've put this into action, how powerful your inner consciousness is. You can become a Okay, listen. If you hate your job, it's not the job that you hate. Think about it. It's not the job that you hate. The hate is coming from your inner consciousness. It's the state of consciousness that you hate. So what does that tell you? You can change that inner consciousness to another reality, the feeling of another reality. You can become that consciousness within before you actually externally have it. And by becoming and knowing that reality, that's what produces effect on shaping your outer world. When you really, truly know that reality inside of you, of being free, of being wealthy, of having abundance, your outer world has no other choice but to rearrange itself to your new inner state of consciousness. That's what magic is. It's manipulating your inner state of consciousness. It's convincing yourself that you already have it, not believing it, knowing it. Okay? Knowing is different than believing. Believing is a lie. You should know thyself. Okay? So we can say that human overpopulation is intentional. There is no human overpopulation. We're all cramped in these cities. We're all cramped into one little place. We're not supposed to live like that. We're not supposed to live so cramped. This is why there's so many weirdos out in public. So many weird people doing weird things. This is when things start to go weird, and we shouldn't be living in this state, in this condensed state. We should be spread out. Okay. There is no overpopulation. It's just an illusion because we all lived in such. Have you ever been on a plane? Have you seen how much land there is? It's crazy. There's no overpopulation. And how many people do they say there's in the world? There's not that many people in the world that they say. I think it's like 8 billion. I think they say there's 8 billion people. There's not 8 billion people. There's probably more like 2 billion. And the reason I say that is because I have a friend who only has like 300K followers. So that's a lot of followers. Okay. And he gets recognized everywhere he goes. And he's into all this stuff. And he says, listen, the population is definitely not 8 billion or whatever they say. I think it's like a couple billion. It's probably more like a billion. How to properly manifest intentions. Thought, emotion, and imagination are the key. You must know that you have that reality. Don't believe it. Become that reality within your consciousness. All day long, as much as possible. Feel it. Imagine it. Say it. and have zero doubt. How to have zero doubt. You can't, well, okay, so the doubt, that little voice that will seep into your mind saying, you can't do that, you can't do this, that's your old voice of your subconscious program. Listen, the reason why most people fail in life is because they have trained their subconscious that they will fail. They have told and believed that they will fail. The reason I will succeed for the rest of my life is because I have trained my subconscious to say, I will win, I will succeed, I will solve any problem. That's my belief system. And if my belief system is that, then my external reality, my conscious mind will seek a way to fulfill that belief. It will seek to control and create that belief in my external world. It will seek to solve any problem. I've trained my subconscious mind to know that I already have the reality, to know that I'm abundant, to know that I have everything that I already need. Therefore, if any problem comes, I can sort it straight away. But most people have a different belief. It's not your fault. We've been kind of manipulated and told this, that they will fail, that they can't do anything, that it's too hard. And that basically casts a spell on the conscious mind, where your conscious mind is just like, no, I can't do that, because of this subconscious belief that you hold. So you must reprogram your subconscious that you can do it, that you will solve any problem, and that you are abundant. That's the reason why successful people succeed. It's because they have a complete different mind state, a complete different belief system in their subconscious. Do you offer mentoring? Yes, I do offer mentoring, but it's mainly for people who want to grow their online presence, and for the amount of value and transformation that I can place into your life, and the time that, well, the price of my time, it will be a higher price tag, but your life will completely change if you join my mentoring, because I will transmute your life. I will transmute your mind, and I will transmute your whole reality, because I could tell you exactly what you need to do. How to have super genius power pulling information from the source. Okay, so you can do this. I talked about this in Book of Wisdom, Volume 2, if you've read it. This is a technique that Albert Einstein used. This is a technique that Thomas Edison used. This is a technique that all of the ancient geniuses have used. So you get on a chair, you place metal below you or plates, and you hold a metal ball in your hand, and you fall asleep. And every time you fall asleep on the chair, you're going to drop the ball because your body will become unconscious, and you will basically drop the ball, and it will wake you up because it's going to hit and make a loud bang on the plate. And every time you go to sleep, basically what this is actually doing is shifting your consciousness from conscious into the subconscious. So from physical into the astral. Your consciousness is shifting between these two planes. And as you do this, you can bring down great ideas from these higher planes. So when you fall asleep, have an intention. And when you fall asleep, you'll drop the ball. And when you wake back up, you'll have an idea, and you just got to write it down. How to balance chakras. Don't focus on balancing your chakras. Focus on the mind. The mind is the cause of the chakras being blocked. If you have a blocked throat chakra, this is a problem in your mind, not the chakra. You see, the chakras are a result of the mind. You transmute the mind, you can transmute the chakras and cleanse them. So was Jesus a real man that walked? Okay, so I'm going to tell you something. Like, some of the things that I say in my reels, they are to catch attention. So if I say the first thing on the reel, Jesus never existed, straight away, you see that, it's going to trigger you. It's going to trigger Christians. It's going to trigger people. So yes, I do say things to catch attention. The reason I do that is because I have to in order to catch attention. Maybe there was a Jesus who walked. So in the past, I have said Jesus never existed. Yes, this is to catch attention, to boost the reels, views, and comments and stuff like that. Maybe there was a man who was called Jesus and walked the earth. But listen, he was not the Son of God. You are all the Son of God. Jesus represents an archetype. He represents morals. He represents a way of living that you should embody in your life, not to worship. We shouldn't be worshiping this man. We should be embodying his qualities into our lives so we can become Christ consciousness, so we can live in harmony with our mind, emotions, body, and spirit. Okay? He was not the Son of God. You are all the Son of God. We are all God experiencing himself in a three-dimensional divided form. God is oneness, and he created a divided world so he can experience himself. Why do you quote from the Freemasons oft times? I don't recall me looking at Freemason quotes and quote them. I just simply, when I post a quote, I literally just, whatever comes to my head, I just whack it into Telegram or Twitter. Are dreams tied to your subconscious, and how do you understand them? Okay. Dreams and astral projection are two different things. Astral projection is your soul leaving this plane into the collective consciousness, into the collective mind, the collective astral plane. But dreams are basically the astral plane, but it's your personal astral plane in your personal subconscious. So when you dream, you're entering your own consciousness, you're entering your own subconscious. Every character, every event that happens to you, everything that is said to you, everything that happens to you in your dream is yourself pushed outwards, and you're basically experiencing your own mind. If something scary comes up in your dream, this is your belief, this is something in the back of your mind materializing and coming to you and showing itself to you. So in order to understand your dreams, it's basically suppressed emotions, suppressed thoughts, all lingering in your subconscious materialized. Okay. A few months ago, I'd have concurrent dreams of getting in a car crash that lasted for months. Then one day out of nowhere, I got into a really bad accident, and that low-key bugged me out. I didn't know if my mind was trying to warn me or what. You can explain that. Okay. If you are having dreams about having a car crash, this is a belief. Okay, so let me tell you something. Let's say you're a drug dealer, okay? And you live in fear every single day of the police coming to you. This dealer every day is worried, he's scared, and he lives in fear of the police getting him. He was believing it. This fear, this emotion he was feeling on a regular basis, repetition, and the emotion is basically impressing your subconscious. It's impressed his subconscious that deeply that he now believes it. It's now become a belief. So one day the dealer gets caught and he goes prison. Let me tell you something. He placed himself there because he created a program, a belief in his subconscious of the police. And his external reality is now in a prison cell. But that prison cell is just an external manifestation of the prison cell of fear he installed in his subconscious mind. The four walls he's now trapped in is just basically an externalization of his own belief system that he created through consciousness, through the subconscious. If you embedded your belief that you will be in a car crash, you will be in a car crash. He placed himself there. He materialized that reality through the thought, through the emotion, through the belief. He put himself there. You see? So if you were having dreams, this was maybe, it could have been anything. You could have watched a program when you were a child about a car crash, and that maybe scared you. Or you saw a car crash when you were very young, and that scared you, and that impressed your subconscious. Then you had a dream about it. Then you started to believe it. And then one day, bang, it happens. That's the power of the subconscious mind. It holds control over you. It holds control over every aspect of your reality, of your being. So I hope you all enjoyed this live. I'll see you all inside Ethereal University. I'll be posting another lecture this week. And yeah, let me hold on. The third eye, or the all-seeing eye. This is an important video because there's a lot of misunderstanding when it comes to the third eye. People tend to think that the third eye is the pineal gland. The pineal gland is not the third eye. It is the radio receiver for our eye. It's not the third eye, it's the first. It's the eye where everything begins. So the pineal gland acts as a radio antenna or a radio receiver because the pineal gland has crystals on it. And crystals are used in your phone, they're used in radios because they pick up and transmit frequency. So the pineal gland is the radio receiver for the higher consciousness, for the thoughts, for the commands that come from within. Before you move your body, it begins mentally in the eye. Before you say something, before you kick a football, it all begins in the eye. What happens above happens below. What you think, you manifest into the body. Whatever you think, your body reacts. You see, this eye is the universal cosmic intelligence, the higher consciousness, which is controlling the physical body. Like I said, you have the Buddhic, mental, astral, etheric plane. This is a page from the brand new Book of Wisdom, Volume 2. You have the Buddhic plane, the nothingness. Then you have the mental plane, infinite potential. This is the I, the singular consciousness. This is the infinite potential within you. The I is where the thoughts are. This is the mental plane. And it is this I which experiencing everything. It's the I behind the body. It's the I behind the thoughts. Yes, the mental plane is the plane of thoughts, but you are the I experiencing the thoughts. You are the I behind the thoughts, behind the emotion, behind the words. Deep, deep down within your being, there is the all-seeing I, which the body obeys. Everything that I says, the body does. This is the I in between the two pillars, or in between the sun and the moon in the Masonic artwork. Sun, masculine, left brain. Moon, feminine, right brain. The all-seeing eye in the middle, consciousness. The I, the order, the intelligence, the infinite potential within you, the creative force within you that can create the good and the bad, the left and the right. So you are either creating negative or good. You're even doing good, which is God, or evil, or the devil, which is do evil. You have this creative ability within you, which is God, the consciousness, and you have the choice to do the devil or the God. So the third eye is the human mind. It's the mind. It's the infinite awareness, infinite potential within you. And when you see it in the triangle, it represents the ethereal plane. This is the ethereal, the triangle. This is the eternal. This is the material. Because the physical plane is the box, it's the square. That's why we say think outside of the box. Because you got to think outside of the box to awaken your divinity. You see, humans have been given the tools to awaken to their true divinity. No other animal on this planet, or whatever you really think it is, on the earth, has the ability to have self-awareness. Humans have been given the tools to understand the very, very complex things and understand who we are, what we are, and what the universe truly is on a higher level, not just physical. We have the ability to access planes beyond the physical world, which is unlike any other animal. This is why the humans are gods. So when you see the pyramid with the capstone on top, it's cut off, it's separate from the rest of the pyramid. This is the consciousness that is looking through the ether into the material plane. It's like I discussed down here with these planes. This is the eye, the mental plane. Your consciousness, your eye is looking through the ether. It materialized through the ether into the physical plane, and you are now the eye looking into the material realm. And when you come here, you lose that divinity, but you have to awaken. So you don't lose the divinity, you forget your divinity while you are incarnated in physical. So when you see the triangle with the eye in it, this represents the eye looking through the ether. It's materialized, but it also represents when you see it's illuminated like this and it's separate, because this is separate from the physical plane. The consciousness within you, the thought within you, that intelligence within you, that voice is separate from this physical world. And everything above manifests below. Everything what happens in this realm of consciousness, of thought, manifests into the physical plane. It's separate. So you see the illumination. This represents the awakened self, because the mind is the third eye. So when you have a closed third eye, this just means that your mind has not experienced things other than physical. When you expand your mind, expand your consciousness from having an out-of-body experience or a mystical experience where you had experienced a higher plane of consciousness or a higher level of consciousness, this is now an open third eye, which is an opened mind. It's nothing separate. So when people say, working and opening the third eye by imagination and stuff like that, you're working on your mind. And to open your third eye, you do need to work on imagination, mental discipline, and all of these higher faculties, which we'll go over in another video. So that your mind has higher faculties, which you need to work on. Visualization being one of them, imagination, and mental willpower. We'll go over that. But the illuminated eye in a triangle represents the illuminated mind, the awakened mind that has self-consciousness, is conscious of itself, and it's experienced higher planes of consciousness. Like I said, the I and the idea. So when you see I on the beginning of words, it represents that inner self, that inner cosmic intelligence within yourself. That's why you say inside, intelligence, or idea. It's the idea, the I, the all-seeing eye. This is why the Roman numerals, I was one. And what is one? It's one line. The I is also one line. Because we are all the same intelligence with the same consciousness. If the universe is one, there is only one being in the universe, which is God. And we are all expressions and fractals of God. We are all manifestations of God. We share the same creative power as God. We all have the ability to bring non-physical thoughts into a physical reality, which is the word made flesh in the Bible. So when you see hovering the eye with the 666, this represents the eye stuck in matter, worshipping the physical body, the God in flesh, which is Satan. Satan represents God in flesh, yourself in flesh, because evil love bondage. And everything these artists and actors are doing, they're part of these cults. They're promoting materialism to keep your eye, your consciousness, stuck in three-dimensional awareness. So this is what they're promoting. see that the hand symbol creates 666, which is your body, the carbon. Your body's created out of carbon. And all life forms are created out of carbon. The I in it, the I in the 666 represents I being in material, keeping the mind in material. Matthew 6:22, the light of the body is the eye. Therefore, if thine eye be single, thy whole body should be full of light. But if thine eye be evil, thy whole body should be full of darkness. You see, this is a very powerful verse. Very powerful verse. The light of the body is the eye. This is the first part of the verse. This is where everything comes from. The mind, the infinite mind, the infinite potential within you. Think of anything in your mind. Nothing is impossible in your mind. As soon as you think of it, it's there. Infinite potential. It's the light of the body, because the mind is what gives life to the body. It manifests its will through the body. It's the light. All the things that the body does happens mentally before it happens physically. Before you move your hand, it is a mental power. Just like when you astral project. When you astral project, you use your mind to move your body. It's mental. If therefore thine eye be single, thy whole body should be full of light. So what does that mean? Becoming one with the consciousness within you. The single eye. Instead of being divided between the left and the right, the masculine and the feminine, instead of being divided between the higher and lower self, when you combine all the aspects of yourself to be balanced and connect with the true self, that's when the whole body should be full of light, which is the good, the enlightenment. But if the eye be evil, which means what? Because your eye, your consciousness, your mind has the ability to create positive or negative, devil or the god. And when you think negative, what happens? Darkness goes through the body. Every thought has an effect on the body. What you think goes through the body. For example, become erect. What do? You think of being erect, and it happens, the body becomes erect. What happens in the mind happens in the body. So if your eye is evil, if you are thinking negative, if you feel negative, you're going to produce negative. Your body will be full of darkness. And this is what the all-seeing eye is. It represents you, your consciousness within you that can create anything in this physical world. So yeah, if you have any questions, make sure to contact me, and I will get it created for the university. Thank you all for joining, and see you in the next one. What are we all doing, people? Survival wisdom. Today we're going to be breaking down the Bible and its real, true metaphysical meaning. All of these slides within this video is taken from my book, The Book of Wisdom. So you can get all of these slides. So the Temple of Solomon, you are body, mind, and soul, which is the Holy Trinity, the moon, sun, and earth. The sun is your soul because the sun is its infinite source of energy. It is its own source of energy. And that is what your soul is. It's its own source of energy. The moon is mind. This is why you call people a lunatic. You're a lunatic. Luna means the moon. And inside of your mind, you have a specific mood. Mood is moon. And mind in German is Mond. And the word Mon means moon. And earth is your physical body because your body contains of the four elements, the four physical elements. Well, the Temple of Solomon is the temple of the soul and the Mon, the soul and the Mon, the soul and the mind. And it's the temple of the Holy Spirit in the Bible. Everything leads back to one singular point in the center of the brain. The brain is not the mind. It's mind over matter. Okay. The brain is the physical manifestation of the mind. The brain is the electrical computer which decodes the light waves given to it by the mind. This is why everything in the body leads back to one singular point. And we'll go over this in a minute. But this is controlling the physical body. This is the within. If you rearrange within, it spells high twin, because within you is your twin, your true self. And it's just an entity in the center of the mind. And if you shut your eyes, you can feel it. Your awareness is in the center of the brain. So there's just an empty chamber in the center of the two cherubs, the two brains. They are two separate brains. They're two hemispheres. And the empty chamber, when scientists chop it up and see it's just an empty chamber, well, because you can't see in that plane of reality, you cannot see the mind. You cannot see thoughts. It is invisible to the human eyes, to the visible light spectrum, to the two eyes. The reason why we call it the third eye in the center of the brain, it's not the third eye, it's your true self. It's the mind and soul. It's an eye because it does see. It's the all-seeing eye that you always see here. There's some Masonic artwork showing the two pillars, the two cherubs, the two hemispheres of the brain, and the inner eye. This is the eye that sees all things. What do I mean by seeing all things? Not physically. It sees the mind. It's what, because your soul is watching the mind. You can observe the mind. You are not the mind. And if you meditate deeply enough, you can go beyond the mind. It's the all-seeing eye. It sees the mind. It sees what emotions you're feeling. It sees what you're thinking. It sees what you're seeing with the two eyes. It's the all-seeing eye. It sees all things. It's omnipresent. It's everywhere. Because the mind can be anywhere. The mind can switch itself into any place it wants. There is no limitations with the mind. So there is two hemispheres in the brain. And in the Bible, there is a quote saying, the most holy place between the two cherubs. The two cherubs is the two hemispheres of the brain, and the most holy place is between them, which is what the Masonic artwork is showing. This is the all-seeing eye, the soul and the mind in the center of the brain. And you will not see this with the two eyes. So when scientists come to seeing the empty chamber in the center of the brain, they wonder, because they do not understand the occult side of the world. They do not understand the layers of reality. How the two eyes, everything physical comes from the unseen. Everything seen comes from the unseen. Now, the two hemispheres of the brain play a major role in our lives. The right hemisphere is the artist. The left hemisphere is the scientist. The right hemisphere controls the left side of the body. The left hemisphere controls the right side. So there's a crossover. Now, the right hemisphere is to do with your feminine energy, creativity, unification, metaphors, visualization, intuition. The left hemisphere is to do with sequencing, facts, materialistic details, language, and logic. So they keep us normally trapped within the male aspect of our mind, which is the left hemisphere. You know, if you listen to Spotify, Apple Music, and radio, they're all tuned to 440 hertz, which shuts down the right side of the brain, makes you left brain dominant. And we learn, well, 90% of people learn to write with their right hand. They're taught to learn with their right hand, which is to do with the left brain. You see, so we are being trapped within this left side of the brain, which is all to do with logic, thinking logical, not creative. You know, very analytic. But the right side of the brain is to do with your creativity. So the right side of the brain is perceiving reality as a holistic perception. Now, what do I mean? If you're riding through a woods, for example, if you're riding through a woods, your right hemisphere is seeing the whole woods as one unified woods. The left hemisphere's job is to break down the perception given to it by the right hemisphere and break it down into individual trees. So what am I saying? The right hemisphere is seeing humans and everything in creation as one unified consciousness. The left hemisphere is seeing individual egos. This is why the left hemisphere is the place of the ego, the right hemisphere is to do with the higher self. They're both needed, though. I'm not saying one's better than the other. It's balance. Now, they don't want you to see the unified picture, perception of creation. They want you to think everything is individual, everything doesn't come from the one, because all things come from the one. And we experience the two in this reality, dualism. In order to understand the one, we have to experience the two to advance. So, anyways, let's get away from the two hemispheres. The right hemisphere, like I said, is to do with the higher self. And this is why in John 21:6, it says, cast the net onto the right-hand side of the boat and you will find fish. Meaning, cast your energy, cast your perception into the right hemisphere of the brain, and you will find God, unification, and higher self. You will see things from a unified perspective. How we are all one, because we are all the same consciousness. The same spark that is in me is in you. This is why I am you and you are me. We are all the all-seeing eyes of God, just split up into individual bodies. We are all made up of the same essence, consciousness. And that consciousness, that mind and soul, is in the center of the brain. You are just in different avatars. And until we see this, we'll forever be divided and conquered. Until we figure this out as a collective consciousness, we will forever be divided and conquered and ruled over. This is why the Bible says, ye are gods. You are the sons of the Most High, because we are. We are the Word made flesh. We are God made flesh. Mark 16:19. So then after the Lord had spoken unto them, he was received up into heaven, head is heaven, H-E-A, and sat on the right hand of God. God is the consciousness in the center of the brain. Heaven is the head, and the right hand of God is the right hemisphere of the brain, meaning he sees things in unification, creativity, intuition, the higher mind, the higher brain. When Moses crosses the Red Sea is the corpus callosum, moving from the left to the right hemisphere of the brain to see unified perception of reality. Head, H-E-A, heaven, same root word. This is why the ancients always depict God in the center of the brain. Here you see ancient Christian artwork showing God in the center of the brain, the light. Here you see it here. Here you see Ganesh, an Indian god, which is the brain. Here you see the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit in the dome, the brain. This is the brain, because you are God made flesh. That's what consciousness is. The upper room where Jesus meets the 12 disciples. It's the upper brain on the upper room. The upper room is the chamber, the empty chamber in the center of the brain. That's the room. And the 12 disciples are the 12 cranial nerves in the brain, which pretty much rule the body, all the cranial nerves. The tree of life, the cardiovascular system. This is why in Genesis it says the tree of life was in the midst of the garden. Midst meaning middle, because the middle of the body is the cardiovascular system, which is controlling all of the systems in the body. The tree of knowledge of good and evil is the nervous system, is the spine and brain. This is what's detecting good and evil. The brain is the electrical computer with the left and the right hemisphere, decoding the dualistic world,
decoding the light waves given to it by the external world. It is an electromagnetic computer. It is artificial intelligence. It is very intelligent, the brain and the nervous system, the human body as a whole. But the tree of knowledge of good and evil is the nervous system, because it is the tree that detects good and evil, makes you learn good and evil in this dualistic reality. Here you see Adam and Eve around the tree of knowledge of good and evil. Adam and Eve, male and female energies, but the serpent in the tree, and the tree of knowledge of good and evil. Well, this is the spine, the brain, and the serpent is the Kundalini of the spine. The serpent is the S. That's why S, serpent, S, the letter S is the serpent. Sex and serpents make an S noise. You know, the Bible cursed the serpent. So we don't figure out the true religion. The true religion is raising the Kundalini and becoming God-man and reaching our higher states, our true God self. Because once the Kundalini is saved and hits the pineal gland, it activates 100% of the brain when we're only using around 20 to 10% as of right now without the Kundalini awakening. So when you use it, you're activating 100% of the brain. You're activating all the dormant brain cells. You're regenerating the body. And this is the serpent in the tree of knowledge of good and evil. This is the spine, brain. This is Adam, Eve, the male and female energies. The light of the body is the eye. Therefore, if thine eye be single, thy whole body should be full of light. Matthew 6:22. This is the single eye in the center of the brain. It is not the pineal gland. It is what's inside the pineal gland. You have to go beyond the physical world, and there are no words to describe things that are not physical, metaphysics. And the whole body should be full of light. Well, this light is the same pyramid that you see. You are the pyramid with the all-seeing eye on top. This is why the ancients built the pyramids with the stairs in the middle symbolizing the spine, because once you open all the chakras and balance them and raise the Kundalini, you activate all of the brain, which gives enlightenment. The word enlight in ment. Ment means mind, light in the mind. Enlighten the mind. And this is enlightenment. We are the temple. And Jacob called the name of the place Pineal, for I have seen God face to face. Within spells high twin. Within you is the God self, which you need to manifest into the external world. And he's seen God in Pineal, the consciousness. He's seen his true self, consciousness, in the pineal gland. Genesis 28:10, Jacob's ladder. Jacob, he took a rock there and laid his head on it to sleep. Jacob had a dream. He dreamed there was a ladder that was on the ground and reached up into heaven. Head is heaven. The rock he fell asleep on is the sacrum bone, because he's symbolizing the oil that comes down the spine, hits the sacrum bone and rests there, falls asleep, and it looks up and it sees the ladder to heaven. Because when you raise this oil, you become God-man. You become God in heaven. You can leave the body at will. Do you not know that your body is the temple, that your body is the temple of the Holy Spirit? Corinthians 16:19-20. Or do you not know that your body is the temple of the Holy Spirit within you? Your body is the temple of the Holy Spirit, the soul and the mind within the center of the brain, the temple of Solomon, temple of the soul and the mind. Romans 8:10. Christ is in you. It's not external. When you give where attention goes, energy flows. When you give your energy to external things, your attention, your worship to external things, you're giving energy, meaning it's draining you, and you're feeding something within the astral plane, a mental thought within the astral plane. So with you realizing that the Christ is in you, that you don't have to worship anything outside of you, this means that you're internalizing your energy. You're not giving your energy, because where attention goes, energy flows, which means you become more present. You become healthier because you're not giving off all of your special electromagnetic energy that's charging you. This is why the religions run by the Vatican is all external. They're exoteric. Exoteric means external teachings. The esoteric is the internal, the hidden teachings. In Psalms 82, I have said, ye are gods, and all of you are children of the Most High, because we are the Most High, split up into individual bodies. That's what consciousness is. Consciousness is the Most High, and we have to raise ourselves to the Most High. Brahma, Vishnu, Shiva, the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit. Why is it always a trio? It's a trio because it symbolizes us, the soul, mind, and body. The mind is the bridge for the soul to be in the body. What is the soul? It's the life force. It's the watcher. It's the all-seeing eye. The soul sees into different realities, and it gives life to the body of every reality it goes in. This is why you always see light around the all-seeing eye, because it is the energy, the life force, the light, life, L-I. Life is light, and it's the eye because it sees into the different realities. It sees into the dream world. When you're going to sleep at night and you dream, it's not a dream. It's another reality. You're a multi-dimensional creature. We live in a multiverse. There's infinite amount of yous. And there is a version of you which is the highest self in a reality somewhere. And this eye has the ability to switch realities, which is exactly what astral travel is. Astral travel is the ability to switch reality beyond the 3D construct of this world. The Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit, Brahma, Vishnu, Shiva. Brahma, the soul, inhabits different bodies. This is why they have different heads. Vishnu, the mind, symbolizing gnosis, meaning knowledge. This is the serpent. The serpent symbolized knowledge. Shiva, the body. Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit. The bird, the soul, because the bird symbolizes the soul. This is why you have here the Egyptians showing you the soul leaving the body. Here you see here with the twin head, the same head, and it's a bird. This is the soul self. This is the ego self. The Egyptians knew this. They knew all of this. Of course they did. Now, the whole story of Jesus is all metaphorical for the process which goes on within your body. Your neck and head is the Holy Grail, which the sun and the moon creates. Sorry, the sun and the moon creates the fluid within the Holy Grail, the brain, the skull. And the moon creates the milk. Sorry, the moon makes the milk. The sun makes the honey, the land flowing with milk and honey in the Bible. The land flowing with milk and honey is the center of the brain in the Holy Grail. Here you see the Masonic artwork showing you the sun and the moon creating the fluid in the spine. Here's the serpent. Serpent symbolizing the two Kundalini channels, the Ida Pingala up the spine. Here's the furnace raising the Kundalini, raising the oil, heating it up, and rising it to the crown. You see? So here you see more Masonic art, seeing the sun and the moon creating the holy fluid in the brain, in the cup, filling the cup This is why it's a cup, because it's the Holy Grail. This is the holy oil in the center of the brain that gets released down the spine, which is Jesus coming down from heaven. It comes down the spine, down the River Jordan in the Bible. This is when Jesus goes from Nazareth to Jerusalem. He comes down the River Jordan, and Joseph and Mary are in Nazareth waiting for Jesus' return. Joseph and Mary symbolize the pineal and pituitary gland, which produce the two oils created by the sun and the moon. And he returns. When he returns, he gets crucified at 33, because there's 33 vertebrae at the back of the spine, and it crosses the vagus nerve. The crucifixion of the oil past 33 vertebrae creates God-man, and it creates your higher self, and it activates 100% of the brain. And you turn into spirit, you turn to your spirit self. This is why Jesus dies. He didn't physically die, it metaphorically dies and becomes his higher self. The ego self is left behind. It's the same with the whole story of Jesus. Jesus comes down from heaven, which is the oil. He dies in a cave for 3 days, which is the oil hitting the cave. Here's the cave, and resurrects after 3 days. If you resurrect the oil, comes up and gets crucified at 33 in Golgotha. Golgotha translates to a place in the skull. The three wise men from the east. Well, if you look at the Masonic artwork, they'll always show you a ladder up to the east. Okay? Here you see north, south, west. This would be east. Here you see east here. East here. The ladder up to the east. The east is the top, up. Three wise men from the east. The thalamus, pituitary, and pineal gland in the center of the brain. The most important glands in the body. Here you see the Egyptians with the spine, the sun, and the two hemispheres of the brain. What did I say at the beginning? The sun is the soul. The sun is its own source of energy. It's the life force, which gives life to anything it inhabits. The soul is the same thing. That's why sun and soul mean the same thing. So, what I'm saying is consciousness is God. And this is why when it refers to as God in the Bible, means your higher self, pretty much. And returning back to this higher self, because God is something that you need to manifest. Consciousness is God, and your body is a reflection of the creation by God. This is why everything in the body corresponds with the stars. The stars rule the body. We are an image of the stars. This body is an image of the whole of creation. Aries rules the head. This is the cerebrum, the ram in the brain. Here's the ram, Aries. And we have something called the cerebrum, Aries, the ram. This is the Lamb of God moving to the higher mind. Taurus, which is the lower brain and neck, the cerebellum, the bull Taurus, the lower mind, and the cerebrum and the cerebellum, the ram and the bull, is what makes you ramble on. Ramble meaning walking. The higher mind and the lower mind working together makes the body ramble. Ramble is what makes you walk along. Thank you to Santos Bonacci. Gemini, the two twins, rules the two arms, the hands, and the lungs. These are the two twins of the body. Sagittarius, the horse, which rules the hips. Hips means hippo. Hippo means horse. Hippopotamus means water horse. Hippo means horse, and this is why we call them hips, because horses have massive hips. Capricorn, the kneecaps. Pisces, the two fish, the 2 feet. Then they make us swim. We are an image of the stars, people. Well, the body is anyway. Consciousness is God, and the body is the image of the whole of creation. It's a reflection of the whole creation, as above, so below. 12 systems in the body, 12 cranial nerves for the 12 constellations, 12 cell salts. The body's made out of 12 cell salts. So this is where it gets kind of deep. This is where we get deep. And he said Jesus was known as the fisher of man. And fisher of man, meaning man does not mean man as in the male. Man means mind. He's the fisher of minds. So the Bible is not patriarchal. It's not patriarchal. Man just means mind, pretty much. So the fisher of mind, man, because he was fishing minds out of this reality into the higher realities. He was teaching people how to leave the body when he walks on water. Walking on water is the physical, etheric, astral, and mental. These are the different planes of reality. The ether is the either, because the ether is the substance that's on either side, astral and physical. It's the fifth element is ether. And the fifth element is the water. The same water at the beginning of the Bible when it says, let the firmament divide from the waters above from below. The water symbolizes the ether. It's the base of all physical matter. And the ether is known as the water. So when you're walking on water, you're walking on the ether, meaning you're leaving the physical body. So when Jesus walks on water and he's teaching Paul to walk on water, Paul becomes scared and falls back into the water. Well, when you astral travel and you become scared when you're projecting, you'll fall back into your body. So he's pretty much saying walking on water is leaving the body, and walking on the ether, because the ether is the veil between the astral, and that's what devil means. Devil has the word veil in it, because the devil is trapping you between one veil, which is this world. They're trapping you in this world, this thin layer of reality. Your dreams are different veils. The ether, the astral, the mental are different veils. Devil is the veil. The veil. You need to escape being stuck in one reality and live in between realities. And this is when you truly become a multi-dimensional being, because your soul is just the eye. That's what you are. You're just an eye, and you see into different worlds. And it also, when Jesus means the fisher of man, the fisher of minds, he is. I truly believe, because of my research, that there is other worlds. It's not just this one. There's higher worlds. There's an infinite amount of you, and you've been in them dreams you call dreams. Them dreams are other realities that you are in. That's why when you're there, you don't feel like you're in a dream. You feel like it's 100% real, because it is real. So this is why the ancients always depicted the many different heads, because there's many different versions of you. And this I, the soul, the watcher, is switching itself into different bodies at all times. Well, when you sleep, when you astral project. And this is what the ancients were doing. They understood the multiverse, and they could switch bodies at will. And this is what the 7 seals are in the Bible, also known as the 7 chakras. These are literally portals within us to these different worlds. We're in the heart at the moment. Earth, rearranged, spells heart, meaning middle. This is where good and evil exist. It's the middle point, the midpoint of realities. So I hope you all enjoyed the video. All of this knowledge that I've give you in this video is inside of my book, the Book of Wisdom. The Book of Wisdom gets updated every single month with new pages. It's a one-time payment for a lifetime worth of research and knowledge by me. So if you do want to get it, the link will be in the description. But I hope you will gain some amazing insight. Please like, comment, and share to help the algorithm, and drop a subscription. And for more lectures, every 2 days, I drop lectures and knowledge within the Patreon. If you want to support the channel, join the Patreon. Everything's in the description because we are not monetized on YouTube. Thank you all. Have an amazing day.
Hello, everyone. Today we're going to be discussing the esoteric and occult meaning behind the story inside of Genesis, the story of Adam and Eve. This is a widely known story, but not many people know the true esoteric meaning behind it. Okay. So today we're going to be breaking this symbolism down. Before we get into this, please leave a like and a subscribe on the channel. I would greatly appreciate it. And please comment below any lectures or anything you wish to know, and I could maybe make it in the future. The first thing we must understand about the Bible is that it is an esoteric and occult book. It is written in allegory. It is written in such a way that we understand the book compared to our level of perception. Now, what do I mean? If a child read the Bible, they would gain a standard meaning and story behind it. They would gain a normal interpretation of the book, of being good, praise God, and be a good person. However, me, who have studied the occult and esoteric and symbolism for a very long time, when I read the Bible, I see a deeper meaning. I can read between the lines of the allegories, which means the Bible is written in such a genius way that it speaks to your level of intelligence. Depending on how advanced you are mentally and with knowledge, will depend on how you decipher this book and how the parables inside the book can speak to you in your personal life. Okay. So the Bible is the greatest psychological book ever written in history. This is why it's known as the greatest story ever told. It's a story. What we must understand with the Bible is that the Bible creates on the surface a logical way of thinking, which is what we call religion. We read the Bible and if we think logically and we take that book literally, then we gain a religion. But if we look beyond the surface, this is what we call esoteric, metaphorical, symbolic. You can read between the lines using our right hemisphere of the brain in deciphering this book and what it truly means to us and the evolution of our mind, body, and soul. What this book actually reveals between the lines is instructions and stories which teach you how to level up your consciousness, how you can sync the mind, body, and spirit and the soul all together so you can live like a god. This is what the esoteric is. It's the purification of consciousness. Now, when it comes to Adam and Eve, okay, what we must understand is that this is the beginning of creation. This represents the beginning of your life in an esoteric way. This is symbolic for the beginning of your incarnation into this physical world. Okay. And we have Adam, masculine, Eve representing feminine. These are the two masculine and feminine energies which create the whole material universe. Okay. And as we are born with a pure consciousness. We are born with pure consciousness. Well, now, what do I mean? As a baby, we have no knowledge. We are pure essence of the soul. You know, we don't gain the knowledge of good and evil. We are pure. Yes, we're not happy all the time as a baby, and we're not sad all the time, but we have no ego. This is what I mean. Our consciousness is not split. As a baby, you are whole. You have a whole consciousness. You are yourself. You have no false identifications, no limiting belief systems, nothing. You are pure awareness and the pure soul and the pure mind. Now, this is what Genesis is representing. As we grow older, the more experiences we gain, the more thoughts we start to think, the more knowledge we gain of this world, the more impure our mind, our heart, our soul, our spirit becomes, the more impure our body becomes. As we grow older, we're infected with negative beliefs, negative thoughts, and society norms. This is a big one. As we grow older, we are molded by society. We shut off areas of ourself and we push them away so that we fit in with society. We all know this. We all did this in school. We pushed away parts of ourselves to act cool or to fit in, whatever it may be. Whatever type of person you were in school, we all went through this because society and culture is programmed. So as we grow older, our consciousness splits. We gain a persona, an ego, and we gain a shadow self, the subconscious, and we gain an ego. Now, the ego is what you show to people. It's that character that you show, that you put on to your culture, to your family, to your friends. This is a false identification. And we also gain a shadow self. The shadow self is gained through experience. This is the subconscious. Our ego is created through experience. And so is the subconscious and the shadow self. Okay. So as we gain age in this material body, we fall from the Garden of Eden. We gain the knowledge of good and evil. This is what the symbolism represents of us leaving the garden, us eating from the fruit. Now, the fruit represents the knowledge, it represents the insight, the experience, which splits our pure consciousness. Our soul splits. Okay. We lose connection with the divine. We lose connection with our pure self through material experiences. We may lose ourselves in material experiences. We may lose ourselves in lust and material gain, wealth, and all of these lovely things that the material world offers. We lose ourselves in this. Okay. And not only that, there's another symbolic thing that we're missing with being a child. There's another symbolic meaning behind this tree in this story of Adam and Eve. And this is sexual energy. Okay. As we are a baby, we have no ability to create another human life. We have no sexual urges. We have no desire for the material things as a baby. Nothing. As we grow older, our sexual energy cultivates around the age of, it's like 10, maybe earlier for some people or later for some people. This is what we call puberty, when our sexual energy activates. This is when the masculine and feminine energies are present within the body. And we are now given the ability to create human life. We're now given the ability to bring in a soul into the material world. Now, this is what we believe and know in the esoteric world. That is what sex is. You're bringing a soul from the astral into the physical. Okay. So as you grow older, you gain this ability to use the power of creation. You gain this force within you that allows you to open a portal in the astral and bring in a soul to the material. Now, this power can be misused. This power is very powerful and should not be misused. In occult and esoteric teachings, we teach and learn sexual transmutation, how we transmute sexual energy into different areas of our life so we can grow and create. Because sexual energy is creative energy. It creates a whole new human being. So if we retain it, we can transmute it into creativity. So this energy is kind of corrupting us as well. And now I'm not saying growing up is evil, all this thing is evil. This is a natural cycle that we must go through. The soul of us must go through this cycle so that we learn, so that we overcome it, so that we gain mastery over ourselves, so that we expand ourselves. I recommend you watch the Evolution of Consciousness lecture that I did on my YouTube. An amazing lecture. Talks about the evolution of consciousness and how we're on a never-ending cycle of life and death and expansion. So leaving the Garden of Eden is symbolic. You see, Eve represents emotion. She's feminine. Adam represents action. That's why he bit the apple. You see, Eve takes the apple and tempts Adam because she's the emotion. She's the sexual desire. And Adam eats it. He releases, he misuses the power of his creation. He misuses his consciousness because of material illusions and material desires. This is natural, okay? As we grow older in this life, our soul has to experience sin. We have to experience negativity. We have to experience evil, okay? And we have to misuse this power within us to learn about it so we can overcome it and gain control over it. Now, this is why the Bible says in Genesis 3:6, for God doth know that in the day ye eat thereof, then your eyes shall be opened. Ye shall be as gods, knowing good and evil. This is very, very, very symbolic. We come into this world to experience a dualistic way of reality. We come into this world to challenge ourselves so the soul can grow, because the soul comes from pure love from God. But we come into this world so the soul may know what it's like to be evil. You see, we are like a seed. Our soul's like a seed. And when that seed grows, okay, and it's planted, them roots must grow to hell in order for the top of the tree and the roots to grow to heaven. In order for the soul to reach the highest states, it must descend down into the lowest states. Good and evil. This is the story of good and evil, okay? And this is the story, a psychological story of how the human mind has functioned in this life. This is what this story is representing of how our soul and mind is functioning, how our consciousness is splitting and growing up and evoluting. Okay. Like I said, snakes represent sexual energy. They represent, snake, when you've been snaked. This is why we say you've been snaked, because it represents a temptation of sexual energy. This is why the Kundalini is symbolized as a snake. This is the serpent within us that we can rise to activate dormant brain cells in our brain. And that's called the Kundalini awakening. I'm not going to get into that into this video, but this is what it symbolizes, the tree and the knowledge of good and evil, because our body is the tree. Our central nervous system is the tree. The snake is our sexual urges and this false temptation that tempts us to interact with sin, the material world, okay, and go against our higher divine self. This is what it represents. Now, it's very, very symbolic. Not everyone is going to agree with this, but this is my interpretation of Genesis based on my research of occultism, symbolism, metaphors, and me studying the Bible. This is my interpretation, and I hope it resonates with you. It might not resonate with you, but this is what makes sense to me, and this is what has made sense to many other occult researchers who are in this space as well. Okay. So please leave a like, leave a comment, leave a subscribe. I'd greatly appreciate if you could, just give me some support on this channel. We're nearly at 100,000 subscribers, which is insane. I just want to say thank you all. And yeah, I will see you inside the university if you join. I'll look forward to mentoring you, connecting with you on the live calls. There's a new symbolism course which is going to be available very, very soon. And yeah, if you join the university, you also get a 30% discount on all of my products, astrology readings, one-on-one calls, all of my books. Yeah, so I hope you gain some insight on this video, and I'll see you in the next video, and I'll see you inside the university. Have an amazing day.
What is up, people? How are we all doing? Today, we're talking about the flat earth cosmology. So let's jump straight into this. Please drop a follow and leave a like to help the algorithm. So we live in a torus field. Everything's made out of torus fields. And every torus field has motion. It's what it is. It's the motion of energy. And every torus field has a center, which is the black hole. It's a womb of creation. It's counter space. Now, this is why the North Pole is magnetic, because the center of this torus field is the most magnetic part, the strongest part of the field. So this is why all compasses will point you to the center. And the Earth's magnetic field is spread across the whole of the Earth. And it's spinning, as you can see here. It's like a tornado at the center. And this tornado is the force which is spinning the sun and the moon around us. You got the sun, the moon, Polaris, just like in the Masonic cosmos here. The sun, the moon, Polaris, the all-seeing eye. Now we'll get into Polaris a bit later, but the sun is the magnetic force. Sorry, is the electric force, because every field is electromagnetic. Now, the sun is electric. It's positively charged. It's gonna give you energy. It's feeding energy. The moon is more magnetic energy, which is taking your energy away from you. And this is why you become sleepy when the moon comes out, because it's taking away your energy. So these two forces is the balance. It's the yin and yang. It's the balance. Everything in this creation is balanced, because the torus field is the Earth is the plane of inertia, the 0 point within the field, because physical matter is a result of two opposing forces equalized on the plane of inertia. And that is where matter crystallizes into physical results. And this physical plane is the plane of inertia, planet Earth. And at the center of this plane is the black hole, the womb of creation. And outside of this black hole gives birth to light. So the torus field is constantly rotating, going into counter space, the black hole, and then out of counter space gives birth to the white hole, white light. You see? So it's going around, black hole, birth again, black hole, birth again. And it just keeps going around. It's an infinite cycle of energy. And this is where the infinity sign comes from. This is the motion, this is the force which is creating everything to spin inside of this circle. Okay? And it's making the stars spin. It's making the sun and moon spin around us, around this center point. Now here you see Horus and Set. Horus and Set putting their feet inside of this dome. This is the royal arch, the arch of the dome above us. It's like you see in the Masonic cosmos, the royal arch of Freemasonry. This is the dome above us, the firmament that the Bible talks about. You see, they're putting their feet in because Set symbolizes the moon and Horus is the sun. Horizon, Horus. Horus is rising, the sun. So they're both putting their feet around this center magnetic pole, which is the pole, North Pole. And above the North Pole, you have Polaris, the pole of electromagnetic energy. You see? And this is how we get the sun and the seasons. Because the sun, for us, when it becomes summer, it's on the Tropic of Cancer. then it spirals outwards, going out and out and out, then goes to the Tropic of Capricorn. That's winter for us. Then it comes back in and creates summer again. So it's constantly spiraling around this center magnetic North Pole. You see? So this roof above our heads is the firmament, and this is what they've taken off of us. They haven't physically taken it, but mentally they have taken this away from you. It's a female energy, and this is what the Egyptians called Nut, the sky god Nut. And this is the womb. We are inside God's creation, God's womb, and the woman's womb when she has a baby is a microcosm of this, because everything inside of this creation is micro, macro. It's a reflection of the bigger things, as above, so below. So the dome above our heads is the dome we are in when we are a baby. And you can see the sacred geometry of it is the exact same. It's the dome. And when we are inside of the womb, the woman, the sacred maker, which is the M, the Masonic M, this is the G male symbol. The Masonic M is maker, mason, matter, male. She delivers the male, you see. She delivers the male because it's the maker, the female, the magnetic. The woman is magnetic in nature, the male is electric in nature. So when we are in this womb, the female, we are being fed by the center umbilical cord, by the center of the mother's stomach. We're connected to the center of the woman's stomach, just like we are when we are in the earth. The center is where the aurora borealis is being emitted from, the electromagnetic aurora borealis, the northern lights. This is our spiritual umbilical cord, connecting us to counter space, connecting us to the realms beyond this world. Because at the center of every torus field is counter space. And at the center of the earth is our spiritual umbilical cord. And this is the earth's belly button, as you see. As above, so below. We had a physical umbilical cord. We have a spiritual umbilical cord. And this gets cut when we die, when we're cut away from the physical reality. You see, here's the ancient Egyptian tablet showing this female. You can see the hair, it's a female above us, because the female energy is nurturing, helping, looking after. And that's exactly what the dome is. It's protecting us. It's the Ark of the Covenant, the Ark covering us, you see? And this is what they've taken away from us. By you believing in space, it completely destroys the idea of this being a sacred creation. They've taken the roof off your head, whether if you believe in space, you believe that there's chaos, there's planets, there's asteroids that could kill us at any moment. But this isn't true. They've made you fear your own creation that you're inside of. They've made you fear what's above you. You see, and it's to hide the power of astrology, the power of the lights in the firmament, which are constantly flowing through the ether. These powers which are above us are sending rays down to the earth, which are influencing our psychology and how we behave. And this is what astrology is. It affects human consciousness. It interacts with our consciousness. And there's a different energy every day because the planets are in different houses, different alignments. And this is, we'll go into this a bit deeper later on. So the world tree, this magnetic North Pole, the pole of electromagnetic energy, was symbolized as a tree, the great tree at the center of the earth. You see? And this tree is symbolized everywhere. You can see here how the center person, this Egyptian person, is holding up the sky. This is the North Pole, the hyperboloid, at the center of every torus field. And this tree was in the Mayan cosmology. This is an ancient depiction. This is the torus field. There's the plane of inertia. Here's the center tree. Here's the tree in the center, the magnetic North Pole, the woman holding the stars. Here's the Hindu with the two birds symbolizing the sun and the moon revolving around this center tree. The Mayan tree, his Horus and Set around the North Pole. They all knew this flat earth cosmology. They knew these secrets. It's so sacred you understand the creation that you're inside of. Because if you don't, you'll be led astray. You don't know where you are. You're lost. You see? And here's the Masonic art with the rays of the stars coming down with the tree in the center. So it was personified as a tree. And we are in Asgard, Midgard, the middle garden, where there's good and evil. So the 7 layers of heaven, which is talked about in the Quran. Each planet has a different layer of the firmament, and this is the 7 layers of heaven, and these are our 7 layers of the energy centers in our body. So we start in the stars, so we are stars in a physical body. And this is why we say Mr., sister, fraudster, sinister. Stir is star, and we are in the stars, and our star descends into the soul system, not solar system. And as we descend into the soul system, we enter Satan's kingdom, Satan's world. As it says in the Bible, Satan is the god of this world. Well, if you've been into my research for a while, you know Satan is Saturn. Saturn's world, because Saturn's the outermost ring. He's the Lord of the Rings. And you enter his kingdom, the kingdom of time. And this is why Saturn's the time god. As soon as you go past the rings of Saturn, you're now in the soul system. You're now in time. You're now bound by space and time. And you're bound to the earth plane, the heart. Earth is heart. It's a rearrangement, it's an anagram for heart. And the heart of the electromagnetic color spectrum is green, and that's why the earth is green. And above green is blue, and this is why the sky is blue. In order to go to heaven on the macro scale, you have to go through the blue sky, through the 7 layers of heaven. In order to reach heaven in your body, whilst you're here, you have to go through the blue chakra to your head, which is heaven. It's micro, macro. Everything is micro, macro inside of this creation. It's an ancient. I think this is a French image, piece of art from the ancient French, with obviously the 7 layers of heaven, which they all depict. And notice how it's like a dome. We'll go into this dome symbolization, the Royal Arch of Masonry, which is next. But these 7 layers of heaven give us the 7 metals, the 7 days of the week, the 7 diatonic tones, the 7 chakras, the 7 everything. It's God's favorite number. And this is why the Masons use the G inside of the compass, because the G is the 7th letter, and God starts with G. You see? So it's 7. God is 7. Here's another depiction of the heart, the soul system, the 7 layers of heaven. La fermente. You see, la firmament, with the stars on the outermost layer. Here are the 7 planets: Jupiter, Mars, la Sophie, the sun, la Luna, the moon. So Saturn. So we are in the heart of this soul system. In order to ascend, we need to ascend up our chakra system, reach 144,000 hertz, God consciousness, the God man. You have to unfold God man, master of the mind, mastery of the mind. So what are the stars? The stars make everything unique. The stars are constantly rotating around the center, magnetic North Pole, the tornado at the center, which is stirring everything. It's stirring the ether. The center is the ether, and the 4 elements are born out of this ether. There's 5 elements: ether, spirit, water, air, and earth. The ether gives birth to the 4 other physical elements, which the whole of creation are made out of. About them 4 elements. 4 is the number of stability. You know, a chair, a table has 4 legs. It stables things. It's a foundation, and these 4 elements are the foundation of this creation. You see, and this magnetic North Pole is stirring this, and the 4 vibrational states of the ether are the 4 elements. Now let me get back to the stars. I just wanted to give you that. The stars are being stirred around this center point. Center. It's stirring everything. And they're always in different alignments. Every millisecond they're moving in different placements of the stars. And the planets are called the 7 wanderers because they're not fixed. The stars are fixed. But the planets are called the 7 wanderers, the 7 layers of heaven, because they move faster and slower than each other. Each planet is slower and faster, has a different rate of speed it's moving. So these alignments are mixing in with the energies of the different 12 constellations. And this is why you have a unique characteristic. You have a unique look, a unique energy, a unique personality. This is because when you were born and you took your first breath, that energy which was in the ether, because the ether is all around you, and energy travels through the ether. The energy that the stars were casting down and the energy that the planets was mixing in with the 12 constellations was in the ether. So when you came out of the womb and your first breath, because breath is spirit, okay? So that first breath you took, that is the energy that is imprinted within your DNA, your soul. And you reflect that energy, you emit that energy. That's the energy that is with you forever until you die, till this physical body dies off. And that's what the stars are. The stars are giving a unique energy, characteristic, personality to every living thing. Every dog, every cat, every animal has a unique personality because it was born at a different time and place in the sky. Okay, the stars are your destiny. Now, the stars are constantly changing as well. If you look at stars through a telescope, they're constantly changing and forming different forms. You can see here, it looks like water. It looks like light through water because it's the ether above us, a sea of ether. And this light is being emitted through it, and it's just constantly changing, giving different energies, each star. So this is why this is what the zodiac is. It's the expression of energy. It's the expression of the stars. And each constellation has many different personality, different energies, different traits. Each planet has different traits, depending where your planets are, depending what energies you hold. No same person, no two person have the same energy. There's no one. It could be similar, but no one's the exact same. It's because of the stars. The stars are never in the exact same split place. The planets are always in different houses. So here's some Royal Arch symbolism. Here's the Royal Arch of Masonry, as it says here. The sun and the moon, the constellations. Here's Cancer, the 7 planets, the 7 stars. Here's the Royal Arch. This is the firmament. Here's the duality. Black and white, duality, good and evil, rest and motion, dielectricity, magnetism. See? So this is what the Royal Arch is. It's symbolizing the cosmic dome above us. The womb we're in. We're inside God's womb. And here's George Washington, the Freemason, inside of the Royal Arch. You see? With the G, the Masonic G, God, 7. Here you see another depiction of George Washington with the stars in the dome above his head, his Polaris, the sky vault, Polaris. We'll get into that later. Go inside of all of your ancient churches, you will see the dome. Go to the Vatican, you'll see the dome. All of your ancient churches have this dome because it's the dome above your head. The ancients knew this. This was known. We did not live in space. It was known back then. They all knew. This is Crown Court, which is one of the most important courts in the UK. You can see it's clearly so much Masonic symbolism. You've got the 4 pillars of Masonry. The Royal Arch is like an arrow pointing upwards to Polaris. His Disney World is under a dome. In his Polaris, the sky vault. You see? And also 666 in the symbol. Here's more 7 layers of heaven. Here's an ancient depiction. The firmament. Here's the astral plane outside of the firmament. The Royal Arch. You see? It's everywhere. Here's Polaris, the 8-pointed star. Polaris is in between the sun and the moon. It's at the center of the Taurus field. And Polaris corresponds with the pineal gland as well because it's the all-seeing eye. See? So is Polaris, the 8-pointed star, which is at the very top. It's the very center. It's on top of the North Pole. And it's an 8-pointed star that's always symbolized as an 8-pointed star. Here you see the Vatican. The Vatican is a giant key with an 8-pointed star. See, it's a key. Here's the dome. Here's the space delta, the USA space delta logos. Here you see the Egyptian god looking from the center, the North Pole, looking upward to an 8-pointed star, Polaris, an arrow pointing up to Polaris. Here's another, the bear holding a key with an arrow up to Polaris, 7, holds the key to Polaris. Here's an eagle holding a key above the North Pole to Polaris. Polaris, and here's another one. There's another bird, like a dragon, holding a key to Polaris. Because Polaris is definitely something to do with leaving this creation. Okay, maybe, I can't say for sure, but maybe it's to do with ascension, and this is why the Vatican hold the key to the 8-pointed star. And this is why the space, well, we all know space is a lie, but they're showing Polaris and its sacred symbology. Maybe it's to do with something leaving this creation, going to another. Here's some North Pole symbolism. As above, so below. See the four seasons of the Big Dipper constellation going around Polaris. This is Polaris, this is the Big Dipper constellation, and this is the swastika. This image gives us the swastika, because all the symbols we use are created in nature. They're created somehow in nature. This is how we get them. As above, so below. This is the map of the North Pole with the 4 rivers looking like the Big Dipper constellation. It's the Masonic, here's the ancient cosmology with the 4, you see the 4 islands, Mayan cosmology, 4 islands. This is the alchemical symbol for Earth, 4 sections. The windows, because the center of the North Pole is a window to another dimension. The 4 lucky 4-leaf clover, which is supposed to be lucky. It's just, it's truth in plain sight. And here's Hitler looking at 2 flat Earth maps. So this swastika has been used for thousands of years, thousands and thousands of years. And it's symbolic for the most sacred land on this plane, the North Pole. Shambala. Do some research on Shambala, people. It's a it's a Hindu mythology about the sacred lands at the center of the earth. And it's known to be full of enlightened beings. And it's all symbolized at the center. You can see their paintings of Shambhala. It's all at the center, the North Pole. And it's known to be the most godly place ever, because it takes you to a portal to the higher places. And maybe this is something to do with Polaris, connecting you to this sacred land at the very center. But anyways, people, thank you all for tapping in. Hope you all learned something. Have an amazing day. Please follow, subscribe, like, all the links in the description for the courses, the PDF. Please have an amazing day. God bless. What is good, people? How are we all doing? Today we're going to be talking about the different planes of existence, the occult side of the world, the things they don't teach you in school. And of course, you can only find that on this channel, so welcome. So you need to understand is that your consciousness moves through these different planes of existence, these different states of consciousness, which make up all of you. Okay? They are all interlocked planes. They are all interpenetrated into each other. They are all one. They melt into the plane above and below. You see, each plane is a product of each plane. As above, so below. Now, the higher you go, the more fluid, the more dreamy, the less dense it becomes. The lower you go, the more denser it becomes, the more solid it becomes. The lowest plane is the physical plane, which you are obviously aware of. You are inside of the physical plane now. But while you are in this inside, inside of this physical plane, you are indeed inside of all these other bodies which you have not awakened yet. You have to awaken these different bodies. You have these bodies. Okay? It's like a ripple effect. And the center is the most dense, the most solid. This is earth, heart, the heart of the ripple. And the lower you, the further you go out from the center, the more dreamy, the less fluid, the more fluid, the more less dense it gets until you're one with the all. You see? And this is what it's like. This is what this system is. It's like a ripple effect. Now, let's jump straight into the planes. First, you have the physical plane, made out of 4 elements. Five elements. The ether is the mother of the elements. It's the womb of the elements. It's the 5th element. And it gives birth to the 4 other elements. 4 is stability. Tables have 4 legs, and this is why the ether gives birth to 4, because it's the foundation of the physical world. Fire, earth, water, air. They are not pure. Each one of the elements melts into the other one. For example, earth and water both share cold. Water and air both share wet. You see, they compose of each other. They melt, they mold into each other based off the vibrational state of the ether. That's what it is. The 4 elements are the vibrational states of the ether. Okay? So you have the 4 physical elements making this, physical world. It's the lowest world. It's the world of effect. This world, whatever you see, whatever you experience, it's the effect. You can't change anything by manipulating this world. You got to manipulate the higher worlds to affect this world, you see? As above, so below. This is the lowest plane. It has 3-dimensional. It's the 3rd dimension. Space, height, and thickness. That's all it is. Front, backwards, upwards. You see, it's 3-dimensional. We cannot perceive the hidden side, which is the interior of this existence. We cannot perceive the interior from our exterior view. We are looking into this world. Okay? This is the exterior view. We can't see what's inside of that. That's the 4th dimension, which is the next one. It's the most gross and dense plane. 4 states of matter, the most slowest vibrational molecules, exist in this plane. Above this plane, you have the ether. Okay? The word ether and either are the same thing, because either connects 2 scenarios in languages. I either support Manchester United or Liverpool. Either is connecting them 2 scenarios. The ether is doing the exact same, as you can see here on the planes of existence. It connects the astral world, which is very important, to the physical world. It's connecting these 2 worlds. So it's the ether. It's the ether. The ether is pure potential. Energy flows through the ether. It is pure energy, pure potential. Okay? The physical body is an exact copy of the etheric counterpart body. So every physical object has an etheric energy double. It's like a blueprint of that object. Every single object has an energy double, and that's the etheric double. Okay? The etheric body determines the shape of our physical body through its lines of force. All through life, it rebuilds and restores the physical body. Physical problems show up first in the etheric body, because as above, so below. You manipulate the higher planes, it will manipulate this plane. And this is why sorcery works. Contact with astral plane entities. We'll get into that a bit later. So the reason why we can't see this plane, this energy world, which is all around us, which we are inside of right now as we speak, is that the molecules that compose it are further apart than those of the physical plane, making it invisible to the 2 eyes. That we can't perceive it. Our eyes cannot physically suck in that sort of information, and our brain cannot decode it. This is why, they brainwash us with all these programs to keep us asleep, to keep these other bodies we have asleep, so we don't find out about these other bodies, and is to make you believe that everything's just a material. Only the material world exists. They don't want you to know is that everything that you see is a result of something you cannot see. As above, so below. There are realities within this reality. This is what I'm breaking down now, these different planes, on how this reality works. So your etheric double is your energy body. You can see here the physical, etheric, astral. Astral is your spirit. The ether is a part of the physical plane. It's like just above the physical plane, but it's still part. But then the astral plane is completely separate. It's another plane, but they're all interlocked. Don't think they're apart. They're all interlocked. They're all one. They all melt into each other. The chakras that we have are inside of our etheric body. They are our sense of organs which tune us to the fourth dimension. These 7 chakras connect us to the astral world, the fourth dimension. Okay? They are points for the flow of energy from the universe / 7 planets, because the 7 chakras are your 7 planets, and the 7 planets are connected to the astral world. They are feeding these 7 centers in our body. They connect us to the universe, to our etheric counterpart, and then to us, supplying the physical body. Because the energy comes from above. As above, so below. These 7 centers, these 7 etheric chakras, are being supplied with energy from the universe, the 7 planets, the solar system. Then it supplies the physical body. You see? So the ether is very important. And this is, that the ancients understood the science of the ether, and they could, harness free electricity from it, because it's all around us. The ether is all around us. And this is what they were doing. They were harnessing free energy using the ether. The astral plane, the fourth dimension, very important plane. Very, very important. We've all been there. Every single one of you has been there. Okay? The fourth dimension is unseen of what we see. It's the interior of the exterior that we see. We see the third dimension, but we cannot see beyond what's making this third dimension. This is the fourth dimension. Okay? It's the dream world. This is where you go when you dream. Okay? This is where you go when you dream. It's the place of disembodied spirits or ghosts, entities, whatever you want to call them. When you hear ringing in your ears, that is not tinnitus. That is an entity around you. Okay? That is an entity around you. The fourth dimension is where thought forms exist. Mental images. Thought forms as in what you see in your mind when you think of an image, because the mind is the highest plane of existence. Mind is the highest plane of existence. And it manipulates all of the planes below. So it goes the mental plane, then the astral plane. So the thought is in the mind, the mental plane. That just the thought alone, no image, but then the form depiction, the thought form exists. It manifests in the astral plane as a sort of image, an entity, a living conscious being. So this is why thoughts are things. You see, thought forms exist within the fourth dimension. So when you imagine something, when you are, for example, right now, look into your hand and imagine there's an apple in your hand. If you can see that, you are seeing into this fourth dimension. You can only see into this fourth dimension using the mind's eye, not the 2 eyes, the mind's eye. When you shut off the 2 eyes into darkness, the third eye opens. The mind's eye is open, and you can see, this is astral travel. You got to work on astral travel, and you will see this astral plane, this fourth dimension. And there are 3 different sections to this astral plane: higher, middle, or lower. So yes, there is a kind of a heaven and hell, and a middle, Midgard. Heaven being the higher vibrational entities manifesting higher vibrational thought forms existing there, the lower vibrational thought forms existing in the astral plane. But these thought forms are beings. You can create these beings. They're called elementals. Okay? If you entertain specific thoughts for long enough, this will plant a seed and it will grow. If you so for example, you have a bad feeling or whatever, what's a good example? Unforgiving someone. You keep that energy inside of you for long enough, it will manifest in the fourth dimension. You entertain that thought long enough, it will manifest. And it will create an etheric body, and it will be an entity which will harm you, that will feed off you, this low vibrational energy. Your mind is so powerful. It creates thought forms, and these thought forms can take consciousness, can take bodies, etheric bodies. Now, that's why it's very important that you master your mind, master your thought patterns. So this fourth dimension is the astral world. So when you have a nightmare, this is the lower astral plane. You're in the lower astral plane. Whilst this physical body rests at night, your consciousness, you awaken this other body, your consciousness goes inside of this other body, whilst the physical body lays asleep. You see? So it's all inside of you. This way you need to understand. You just haven't awakened these bodies yet. You can awaken them. You just got to awaken them. Okay? The next is the mental plane. This is the mind, the source, pure cause, pure motion, the most less dense, the most fluid. No form. There's no form to the mind. Astral plane is the first plane where a form takes existence, pretty much. The mental world has no form. It's pure mind, pure intelligence. Thoughts alone exist here without any images or manifestation. The most fluid, the most dreamy, the most causal plane. All of the rest take the effects of this plane. That's why it's mind over matter. Your thoughts they create vibrations. Each vibration is vibrating on a specific frequency, which creates mental images, creates effects down here on this physical plane. This is why it's so important to master your mind. Master what you think. Master your mind. It's the hardest thing to master. You could conquer the world, but it's probably harder to conquer your own mind than to conquer the whole world. I can promise you that, because the mind can play tricks on you. You got to listen to that inner guide within you that will constantly manifest the good things. So anyways, people, hope you learned a lot from this. Please work on trying to activate these other bodies. I will maybe do another video on trying to activate these bodies if you wish. Please comment down below if you would like to see that. And have an amazing day. Please like, subscribe, comment down below any video ideas you want me to do, any information you want me to spit. Thank you all. Have an amazing day.
By the end of this video, you will understand the 3 expressions of consciousness, how to use them to create the life you truly want. You'll discover the hidden meaning of the word God, the secret power of the number 3, and how consciousness itself is the key to your reality. We have 3 main expressions of consciousness. We think, we feel, and we act. God is 3-fold. It stands for generator, operator, destroyer. The generator is the mind. This is what thinks, generates ideas. This is the beginning of all creation. This is the first expression of consciousness. It is the first form of consciousness, not a physical form, but a spiritual form. Then we have the operator, which is emotion. When we think something, if we have care or any emotion towards it, then we take physical action, the body, the destroyer. We think, we care, we act. Thoughts and emotions are the 2 spiritual forces which merge together and give birth to actions. Think about it. Why are you watching this video? Because you had a care to watch the video. Therefore, the reality in front of you is because you had a thought, you had a care, you took action to express that reality. Everything goes through this 3-fold process. This is why we say, follow your heart, because the body does follow the heart. We think something in the mind, we feel something in the heart, and the body takes action towards it. Everything operates on the care energy of the heart. The body follows the heart. If you do not care about something, then you do not act towards it. It is the care energy that guides our actions in this world. Going back to the generator, the mind is a part of the mental plane, the infinite dimension of infinite information. There is no limitations in the mind. Everything already exists as a piece of information or a thought. This is the beginning of all creation, the spark of creation itself, thought, the mental plane. And our mind exists like a radio, our conscious mind. This is why we call it a mindset. What we set our mind onto through attention, mental attention, whatever we set it on, we receive thoughts that are very similar to what we set it on. The mind is like a radio, and whatever we tune that radio to, we receive that frequency and play that song. So if we purify our minds through ritual work, meditation, and affirmations, the mind can become a temple to receive higher thoughts, higher ideas, and better genius ideas. Going back to operator, this is the Holy Spirit. This is what we care about, our emotion. This is the feminine side of consciousness. Thoughts is masculine, the Father. Emotion is the Holy Spirit, which is feminine. And these two create a child, which is Jesus, the Son, which is actions. When thoughts and emotions merge together, you have a physical action, which is a masculine force, which is why it's a son. The Holy Spirit represents a purified heart, love consciousness, holding love in the heart. And when we purify our minds, we have an effect and purify our hearts. And the reason why I say that is because whatever we think in the mind directly corresponds to what we feel in the heart. As above, so below. Thoughts create emotions. If we think something and our heart tells us that is bad, we have a feeling that that is wrong, then we should not take physical action towards it. And if we do take physical action against the feeling of knowing it's bad, then you are going against the spirit. That's what the word Satan means, or Satan. The Hebrew word for Satan is Satan. It means adversary or opposer. You're opposing the Holy Spirit. You're opposing what you know is good. You're taking a sin against the spirit, against the guidance from your soul, the knowingness of good. So when we do purify our mind, we purify our hearts. And when we cultivate love for the self and one another's in our hearts, we gain the Holy Spirit, which is love consciousness. And when we think in our mind with the love of the heart and we merge our thoughts with love, it gives birth to perfect actions. This is what the true Christ consciousness is. We think with the love of the heart and it gives birth to perfect actions. And if everyone did this in the world, we would live heaven on earth. Everyone would be balanced within themselves and the world as a whole would be balanced. So we need to gain full mastery over these three aspects of our consciousness, over our what we give mental attention to, gaining love for ourselves and the collective in our hearts, and gaining a strong disciplined willpower for our physical actions. And if you can gain full control